This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we're covering the cartoon James Bond Jr. That's Dive. Cartoon Dumpster Dive. Sure, he was a woman abuser, but he was still the best Bond.
Oh, Sean Connery? 100%.
Hey, look.
100%.
He may have abdicated violence towards women, but he was definitely in the right when he wanted to slap the shit out of Barbara Walters. Not because of what Barbara Walters was saying, but just Barbara Walters is a terrible human being. And
agreed.
She should be slapped. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe not by Sean Connery. Maybe one of the many people she exploited through years. But whatever.
I don't know. It's fitting for Sean Connery to slap her.
They're both dead, and they don't matter anymore. So who cares? Did you know Sean Connery was almost Gandalf?
Really?
Oh yeah. So,
that would have been a terrible Gandalf.
He would have, but that's why he retired from acting. It's because he turned it down because his agent couldn't describe it to him properly. And then, so his agent couldn't describe Lord of the Rings to him properly. So he's like, I don't want to do that shit. And then, because of how successful the Lord of the Rings were, that's why he jumped at the opportunity to do the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a fucking terrible movie and a terrible Alan Moore book to choose to make a movie out of, because so much happens in that book. You could make it as a series. Alan Moore will hate it no matter what you do. But what is it, Mr. Hyde? Mr. Hyde rapes the Invisible Man to death in that book, and that would be fun to see on TV. Anyway, we're talking about James Bond Jr.
James Bond Jr., Andrew.
So, how do I say this? Well, let's start off, before we get into reviewing that theme song, favorite Bond? I'm not big into Bond, so I picked Sean Connery.
I mean, Sean Connery, he is a classic. He was the OG.
Right.
I really did like Daniel Craig's James Bond.
I just thought, to me, the way those movies are, they are, James Bond is supposed to be fun, I think. Those movies are not fun. That is...
They put
that is a man... it's a legitimate spy thriller, but it's just what are your gadgets? Oh, my phone really kind of does everything. That's kind of what killed Bond for me, is
smartphones.
Smartphones. Yeah, it's just like...
Smartphones put Mr. Q, his tech guy, out of business.
It's like he can't do anything. It's just like, I fit a calculator and a watch. I'm like, oh, my phone does that. It's like...
I've put GPS in your car. Phone does that.
I think most cars come standard with that. Q, motherfucker.
He's like, what about this one? What about this one? A device that lets you connect to anyone in the world where you are.
You mean the internet?
Damn it! I quit.
Q has basically turned into that one episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force where Shake gets that really weird phone. But it's no, not the Boost Mobile one.
Oh, the computer. The computer.
The headset phone.
Yes.
Yeah, and Frylock just keeps putting out his flip phone and just taking pictures of him, and then Shake goes and gets an old-timey camera. It's I love that episode.
That's a great episode.
Carl, we have to get out of this rain. These things aren't exactly waterproof. Carl won't stop looking at porn. Anyway, okay, I'm all over the place.
We're getting sidetracked. But no, I would say, dude, I did love Pierce Brosnan and GoldenEye, though.
I was going to say a lot of people hate Pierce Brosnan, but if it was for him, you wouldn't have GoldenEye 64.
Yeah.
So
like GoldenEye, well, I think honestly that was the only good one that he did was GoldenEye. The other two, we even talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I think. Like, what was it? The Die Another Day and like the No End to Tomorrow or something like that. Terrible movies. One of those
we were talking about James Bond,
Pierce Brosnan.
James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about Pierce Brosnan. Okay, that makes more sense.
But there was that one where he's like surfing the tidal wave.
That's the one with Halle Berry.
Yeah, that one's trash, man. That one's god awful.
I don't know. You get to look at Halle Berry in a bikini. I say, price of admission worth it.
And you're the one person that actually bought the ticket to Catwoman, weren't you?
I mean, seeing her in
Did
leather.
You really?
That's no. Look, I may be a degenerate, but I have limits.
I have standards.
All right, let's review that theme song.
Let's hit it.
Bond. James Bond Jr. No one can stop him, but scum always tries. Young Bond cuts through each web of spies. He learned the game from his Uncle James. Now he's heir to the name. James
It's
Bond.
a little too long in my opinion.
It goes forever. So
I'm going to give it a 6.
they do a pretty good job of making it sound like a Bond theme on a budget.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I'd give it about. I want to say I'd give it about a 7. That's where I'm sitting.
Pretty solid. If only this show was 1% of how good this theme song is.
Well, I have only one question.
Okay.
About how this was made, Joel. Are you familiar with the Broccoli family?
No, hit me with the Broccoli family.
So the Broccoli family, I don't know how it works, but basically you can't do anything with Bond without their approval.
Okay.
And that's it. They own Bond in some way, and like everything Bond is done through them. But is that why they chose to do a James Bond Jr. show? So they didn't have to.
I gotcha. So what I found in my research was this cartoon was ultimately done by Dan Jock and United Artists Company.
Okay.
Now, Dan Jock it's the holding company for basically James Bond. So there it is. Yep. It was founded by Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman.
There's also the thing that the Broccoli family invented broccoli. I don't know how true that one is, but that would be weird that family owns James Bond and made broccoli.
So
broccoli is a hybrid plant. Did you know that?
Is it?
Yeah, broccoli was man-made, like a lemon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Who said? Look, more education. Film that.
Dan Jack or Dan Jock. If you're French, it's got a Q at the end. Who knows?
Gotcha. Yeah. I know you.
They hold the rights, the material related to James Bond on screen. They've been behind it all because they own the rights, I guess, to the media side of James Bond.
Okay.
Because because James Bond is a series. If no one knew this, James Bond is a series.
Fun fact about the James Bond series: from its first book to the latest movie, as of this recording, James Bond has been a part of MI6 under Queen Elizabeth II.
Ooh.
So the first James Bond movie that
was
will
in
come out.
The first one was 1953, created by
so this will be
Fleming.
the first. Yeah, this will be the. Whenever they make a James Bond film again, this will be the first James Bond that's not under Queen Elizabeth.
The cartoon originally aired 1991, ran for one season with 65 episodes. Now, this was on the heels of Eon's productions of their movies. They had gotten a lot of success with the James Bond franchise as a movie. And of course, what did they want to do? They wanted to break out to a new audience, a new generation of James Bond fans.
Kids.
In the 80s, they actually had a series that was going to be animated called James Bond vs. Spectre. For whatever reason, this project got scrapped.
Okay.
And then they still wanted James Bond. They pitched the idea of James Bond Jr. to MGM Television, who then went to, the Broccoli family, basically, Dan Jock, and United Artists, and got permission to use the name James Bond.
Okay.
And then it was off to the races to do this.
The only animated adaptation of James Bond to date.
And I feel like that's a stain. I feel like if you ever met the Broccoli family, you just bring up, hey, so I want to talk about James Bond Jr.
They'd have you killed.
You're getting thrown out.
I assume they have that kind of power if they've been able to hold on to the James Bond property for so long. I assume.
Oh, they know people.
I feel like they can have you killed. I mean, they held it on. There was also a book, The Adventures of James Bond Jr., 003.5.
There was a book. There was toys made, a bunch of stuff for James Bond Jr. that, God, man, this show is terrible.
It's rough. It is rough. I'll give it. But let's...
Hey, hang on. Before you get into the voice actors, I couldn't find any history on this except for the end credits on every episode, because I went through every episode and I checked. Okay. Our boy, Andy Haywood, has a development credit on this cartoon.
That explains a lot.
Right? Right?
Yeah. One day he's going to contact us to be on his show, and we're going to be like, you sure?
I'm going to be like the man, the myth, the legend himself, Andy Haywood.
That's true. We'll be nice.
Dude, I would.
Anything to me.
I think at this point I would be like a fangirl for Andy Haywood. I would be like, I've talked so much crap about you. I feel like I know you.
Yeah. They probably wouldn't be thrilled to hear that phrased exactly like that, but who knows?
No. But Andrew, hit us with the voice actors.
So the voice cast for James Bond Jr. is Corey Burton is James Bond Jr. Jeff Bennett is Horace, IQ, Bothroyd, Nick Nack, Scumlord, Oddjob, Pump, Boris.
He's on that paycheck.
Horror, and then we have Jan Rabson as Gordon, Jaws, Skullcap, Snuffer, Auric, Goldfinger, Bilge Maximilian, Cortex. Also a bunch of people. Simon Templeman is Trevor Noseworthy the Fourth.
What?
Mona, it'll make sense when we talk about, he's the bully. And Mona Marshall is Tracy Milbanks.
Okay.
Their other works are Corey Burton is Spike in the Transformers the movie.
Oh.
Jeff Bennett is Pip and Anda Acelcia. I fucked that up, but it's from Enchanted.
It's Celsius.
John Robson is Tetsuo and Akira. I think I said that last time we.
Yeah, that's fine.
Simon Templeman is Terran Loghain Mark in Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, that game.
Oh, he's also Kain in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain.
Man, Dragon Age Origins, that game was so much fun.
And then finally, Mona Marshall is Sheila Broblasky from South Park.
Hey.
So I got a weird gripe with this show.
I hope it's the same gripe I have.
Why didn't they just use James Bond?
Why? this show.
So, first of all, I just want to preface this. Their kids all just hang out and also do the same thing as the adults. So James Bond Jr. is a spy, and then Q is there. Or they call him IQ.
I feel like you the cover is pretty obvious at that point. The cover is being blown when you've got spy kids.
They know his uncle is James Bond. Also,
okay.
You can't be named after your uncle and be a junior, right? That's not how that works.
This entire cartoon, the entire time I was researching it, I had one question, and it's how bad of a fuck up does his dad have to be where they named their kid after his brother?
You know what that means.
James Bond
is his real dad.
I like to think that I'm just going to call him Jim Bond.
Jim Bond.
Yeah,
that sounds like a Bond salesman.
Yeah,
Jim Bond, I'll get you out. Big Jim's big bones.
Hey, you got any relation to that old spy James?
Nah.
Yeah, he my brother.
Hey, my brother. Why is he British and you country?
I was sent off to boarding school in the southern United States of America.
And these great Confederate states, like, I don't know about that, Uncle Jim. I living here, boy.
But how bad is Jim Bond? Well, he has a kid with his wife, and she's like, we're naming that kid after your brother.
Why? That's it's so strange, because they just could have been like, this is James Bond's son.
Yeah. Why
did he have to be the nephew? It doesn't make any sense. Like, and it's like he goes to this boarding school, and then Q's kid just happens to do the exact same shit as Q. Oh, it's Q's grandson. But still.
The only way that would make sense, because I didn't watch.
Tracy is Bradford Milbank's daughter.
Maybe that was the big twist at the end of the series, because I didn't watch all 65 episodes of this garbage. Maybe that's the twist, as you find out I'm actually his son.
Maybe. I don't know. There's also the fact that he doesn't fight junior versions of the villains, which would kind of make more sense than like...
He just fights the legit villains.
He just fights Jaws, Oddjob. Like, they have one guy made up for him. But it's just like, was Jaws out of work? Like, is he a contractor henchman? where he goes and works for after his run-in with the regular James Bond, he has to go work for Scum Lord in Scum.
Dude, they'll never find a job after being, duped by James Bond Jr.
Man, that's
think
not
any other gang leader is going to be like, the Junior got you?
You're getting your ass handed to you by JV? Get the fuck out of my evil office. Which is like a regular office, but it's nefarious.
It's evil for evil purposes.
It's for evil purposes only.
They actually got 2 identical offices. So, like, when you first walk in, he's like, hang on, this conversation's... We have to switch rooms for this conversation.
It is... Oh, sorry. Are we talking about embezzlement? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we have to go to the evil conference room if we're going to talk about that. It's like
just across the hall, identical.
It's all dark and candlelit. They're like, wow, I got to say... The ambiance for talking about evil in this room is so much better. Like, right? Corporate said that it wouldn't catch on.
But after they're done, they just flip the light switch and say corporate room.
Just back to it, yeah.
Back to it.
The janitor's got to put on a special robe to clean it as not to break what's going on.
If we want to be a part of the League of Supervillains, this is a requirement.
We're going to steal our employees' retirement and use them to fund the anthrax ray. And the janitor's like, oh, sorry. I thought this room was... Oh, I forgot to put on my robe. Continue with your meeting.
Great. See, that would have made this show
I don't even want to talk about evil.
This show would have been better if they had that element to it.
Evil Office. I'm pretty sure that is a show. Animation wise, it's not the best.
Not good. It makes so much sense why Andy Haywood had his hand in this now.
I do like Jaws' suit.
Some of the character creations or the character designs are pretty cool.
I enjoy James Bond Jr.'s design a lot. Scum Lord is kind of weird looking. I mean, all the other like Bond villains that are like James Bond's too tough, I'm gonna take on Junior. They don't even call him Junior in the show. No. It'd make more sense most of the time when I know a Junior. They would either call him JJ or just straight up call him Junior.
Yeah.
My uncle is a Junior, and when his family visits us, they do not call him by his name. They call him Junior.
James Bond Jr.
James Bond Jr. I guess it works better with the theme song because you can't go James Bond, James Bond, James Bond. Maybe that's why they did Junior.
That's the whole reason why they'll just like.
It's like we already wrote the song.
we gotta make the melody work, guys. Come on.
Oh yeah, this show was criticized for the same reason the Iron Man series was criticized.
Good.
Making Asian villains green.
Oh.
Which I did not realize was a problem until I went back and looked at some old cartoons. I'm like, they really did make them green for a while.
Why? Because of Jade?
I think because yellow was too on the nose, so they added some blue. No, I'm just saying, if you go and you look back at those World War II propaganda cartoons,
so in their mind, they're like, we are helping by making them green.
Let's see.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
If as far as the 90s are concerned, yes, I do think that they thought you gotta look at it from the lens of what they're doing, where it's just like, no, if we make him green, they'll know he's a bad Asian, so the others won't get offended.
That's it.
You know what? You're really on to something. You know, you're a humanitarian. You want an award? Yeah, he got a bonus for his tolerance that day when he suggested green Asians.
He went home. He's like, honey, they did it. They took the idea.
They took the idea. Oh, Johnson, that's terrific.
We'll have pot roast for dinner tonight.
This will make the pot roast in the oven taste oh so ever slightly better. I love you, honey, and I love our Asian community. And
then
credits roll. This weird sitcom we've made. Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh, if anybody's
the
wondering,
show was praised for surpassing the films in fantastical gadgets, which it's a goddamn cartoon. Of course, they're gonna do better on the gadgets. Yeah,
gotta sell toys.
Yeah, that too. There's no James Bond merchandise where they're like, look, it's the pen from James Bond. Like, isn't the whole point of it to be a regular pen?
Oh,
I paid $400,000 for the pen.
He got me again. There's just some dude out there.
God damn these movie memorabilia websites. Look, it's the toothpaste that they said was plastic explosives. Well, what's it actually? It's a regular toothpaste.
Yeah.
Bottle. How much did you pay for it? $10,000. You gotta stop what you're doing.
Why?
One, how did you get all this money?
These are investments. I sold my 401k.
You what? Don't tell my wife that I do this.
Please don't.
Please.
Early internet shopping.
Oh man, you basically could just lie. What? So I guess, yeah, animation's bad. It was made to sell toys. It was made to sell toys. It wasn't made to make kids interested in James Bond, because
so
kids would already be interested in James Bond, if anything, to bond with their distant 90s father.
It really is just awful all around. Every episode is the same. It's just what you get in the 90s to sell toys. Just something happens. You got a bad guy, villain of the week.
Now all you need is a fairly decent TikTok, and you can probably sell as much as you want. But Joel, it's time to move to your new reoccurring segment, The Review That Loved Me and Review Another Day.
Oh, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to look up those names?
No, those are just the only two I remember.
All right.
Also, when you said Die Another Day, or I think you said it in the Patreon extended audio, I thought you were talking about a Die Hard movie. And I was like, wait a minute. Why are you talking about Die Hard? Oh, never mind. I'm fucking stupid.
There's the kids show we all really wanted. A Die Hard kid?
But for kids? That would... John McClane Jr.? It's a shame Bruce Willis's brain melted. Otherwise, we probably could have got him to do it.
Oh, that would be great.
He was Spike the dog once.
That would be great.
Hit us with some reviews.
So this is sitting at a 6.0 out of 10. Only 728 ratings. So under 1,000 on this one. Not a lot of reviews.
Shocker.
There is a 10 out of 10, but it is entirely way too long. So I'm going to just read the last bit of the 10 out of 10. I couldn't find a 1 on this one.
Probably nobody hated it enough.
No. So this was titled A Prestigious Cartoon in a Declining Era. And I'm like I said, just going to read the end part. My verdict on the series is that it is an intelligent series with a well-written and sophisticated lead that, instead of just being fashionable, was genuinely entertaining and thrilling. I also think about Timothy Dalton when the era in which the zenith of Bond was coming to an end. This would have been a good finalizing series to Ian Fleming's brand as it modestly required so. It was also done at the right time rather than just exalting the classic character from GoldenEye onwards. This cartoon to me is the seal.
What did that dude fucking get hit in the head with a thesaurus? What the hell was that?
I do not know. I feel like
way too smart a reveal for words for what James Bond Jr.
I feel like typically people who like spy thrillers are like these old, like, I feel like I would imagine this guy, he's sitting in his smoking room with a glass of brandy while he's watching James Bond Jr. Yes, this is excellent.
Peak cinema.
Yes, this is what James Bond needed. Rings
a
the bell.
light-hearted bastard child that he doesn't claim, but still is named after him.
Yes, beauty. He rings a bell, his butler comes in, he's like, Morton, fetch me another drink.
Yes, sir.
But that's it for the reviews, Andrew.
Yeah, not much else to say about James Bond Jr., really.
Don't give it a shot. It's not worth your time whatsoever.
If for some reason you remember this fondly, don't go back. Asians aren't green.
Wait, they're not?
No. Well, I guess, I don't know. I've never met an evil Asian. I guess
Damn
I can't
you.
make that clear. No,
90s
Kim Jong-un
cartoon.
is evil, and he's not green.
But he ain't got a butthole.
That's true.
I mean, he might be a lizard person.
Wouldn't that? I feel like if you didn't have a butthole and you went, well, he doesn't poop according to him, so I guess he can't go septic. I feel like not having a butthole would make you green. I don't know. Email the show and let us know.
Are
Do
you
you know an
scientist?
evil Asian? Is he green?
Let us know.
Was the stereotype right all along?
It's like Bigfoot. Take a picture of them. We got them.
Yeah, we got him. Yeah. Sorry. Oh wow, he's just like a green man throwing a baby off a
were
bridge.
Right.
Oh, you probably should have stopped him from throwing that baby, but I am glad we got photo evidence of an evil green Asian, if anything, for research purposes. But yeah, I believe that wraps up James Bond Jr. We've already kind of done our closing thoughts without it.
Yep.
If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have bonus episodes with extended audio, stickers, and pins mailed to your door, access to the Discord, although you do the free one and get access to the Discord. But check your email when you do, because that's where the link will show up. I can't message you directly on Discord, no matter how hard I try. We have a X Twitter. We have an X's Twitter handle, Cartoon DD. We have a Facebook, Instagram, all the socials. Everything else is Cartoon Dumpster Dive. We appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, so we can make my son do Cartoon Dumpster Dive Jr. when he's a little older.
Don't wish that on that boy.
It's about little kid shows that people don't remember. But this episode is about Oswald.
He learns to count.
He learns his ABCs, and he's got a dog that's a hot dog. Dad, can I go outside and play? No, record the podcast.
Do it now.
I need content. All right, have a great rest of your week. I'm not forcing my son to do podcasting.
See ya.
Is there do you have an animal that like your max fighting animal? You know, because there are some people out there who are like, I could beat a bear and I guess hand-to-paw combat.
No. This, I believe I would punch any animal.
This has been a Lughole podcast.